he does right now, and I'd just love to pick his brain. Obviously, I'd never get the chance to talk. And if I'm talking to him about all this negative stuff, he'd be like, "Get out of my face."
Yeah, you're a hater. But we're not. We're legitimate. I know, like, if somebody's for the first time listening to this podcast, we're all big fans of Survivor. We want Survivor to be good. Like, I feel like a lot of people who have potentially podcasts in the US, and I could be wrong about this because I don't listen to too many podcasts these days because I don't want to have my thoughts be their thoughts, but I feel like a lot of them are positive or fake being positive for the sake that they're either in production's pocket, they get players coming onto their channel, interviewing with them, so they don't want to ruin that relationship. They potentially want to go and play the show maybe in the future, so they're not being honest as well. But I feel like with us being all from Australia, we've got nothing to lose by being honest here, and it's coming from a place of we really hope that we are speaking for at least 60% of the fans out there. I'm sure 40% thinks that nothing is wrong and that the season is great without villains. It's great when there's no conflict. It's great when they keep repeating the same format. I don't know how you get to that conclusion, but I'm sure there are people like that. But from our end, I feel like we've got nothing to lose, Kahuna. We can be a little bit more honest about some of the flaws that we're seeing, because it's not like we're ever going to be playing Survivor US, but we want to see a good show. We want, like, Survivor was my favorite show of all time. I've said it many a times. I would not have met either of you if it wasn't for the fact that I was such a big fan, because I wouldn't have started podcasting if it wasn't for Survivor.
Absolutely, man. Like, it is the original and the best. And I think where we come from is, if we didn't care, we wouldn't be bagging it so much. You just kind of a lot of people, and this is how I was for many years with a lot of things that you watch. You just kind of absorb it. You watch it. You go, oh yeah, cool, and it's like flickering lights and stories and images, and then at the end you're happy when you got your little dopamine fix for the week. But like, we are fans that analyze, that look at it, and actually watch and break down and remember names and things like that. Well, you are a lot better at remembering names than I am, but you know, we are that type, and we only say this now because we do love it so much, and we know what it was, we know that what it's capable of, and we know what currently is happening in the Australian version. And I think one of the big things of that talk between US versus Australia versus US, and I've seen online, is that people have been clamoring and hoping for an international season. We've been saying that for a long time, the global Survivor. And I think one of the problems that makes me even sadder with the current iteration of the US is I think it guarantees that we won't see that anytime soon, because there's no way Jeff could put this product and these people up against the global and have it be known worldwide that he has the far inferior Survivor.
Oh, no.
He won't have that. Right now it's a mystery. Right now, he can say,
I'll even switch it. I'll riff off you on this one. Can you imagine, and I know there's a lot of people here, and I'm apologizing for those who've not watched it, but you should be watching it. Like, you will understand where we're coming from if you've seen Australian Survivor. Go watch it. You'll understand it because you can compare the two franchises against each other. But can you imagine, like, having some of the best to ever play Australian Survivor, like a George, you know, go over and play this format of Survivor US, right? Like, Jeff would go from having all this talent, like a Luke Toki, a David Gannat, a Shawnee, so many great players that we can talk about, right, that have played over on this side, a Kirby now, you know, and you've got this talent, but you're now not allowing that talent to play and express themselves because you're trying to force the game on them rather than them being able to play, or you're making these strange format twists, which now it would be clear, oh, we've got this great talent coming over to go play against some of the talent of the US, but you're playing this 26-day version, you're playing this, you know, luck is involved more than anything else, because you're going to have to go draw rocks when you're the person, because someone has to get on the boat. Like, you can't all just say, oh, I don't want to get on the boat. Someone's got to go on the boat. Someone's going to go lose their vote. So it could be something as stupid as that. That means George loses his vote when he's so good with his vote, when he's so good at strategizing with votes. So I feel like if that ever happened, Tom, it would be even more of a detriment to the show, because it would show, like, there's so much talent out there, but the talent won't be able to play.
Look, I think, it's never going to happen in America, and originally I would have wanted it to happen in America, because originally I thought America had the best format, but now I definitely Australia, like, and especially because if it was just America versus Australia, imagine getting 12 Americans and 12 Australians. It'd be so amazing, and I feel like there would be some, obviously, like, you don't get paid as well. We don't get paid at all in Australia.
Do it on the Australian franchise. Come to us.
Yeah, but like,
I think that's the only way it could happen as well, though, you know, because Australia is happy to recruit and has had Russell, has had Sandra, instead of appearance fees for that level of Survivor player, just get a bunch of mod like 40 to 45. They're not getting the appearance fees. Jeff's not doing a callback season anytime soon. I reckon you could get a bunch of the lesser players, maybe not the actual champions. Maybe
or
even
even
you could, like an Erica,
players.
like
Listen,
yeah.
even players that have not had the chance to come back but are good. Like, can you think like David Rickenbach, who maybe will never come back to play US because now they've got this new format and Jeff has got the feeling like nothing exists prior to season 40 and he wants this new era to be like, I wholeheartedly believe the next All-Star season or the next second chance season will only be new era. There will not be. So there is a whole pocket of players from Ghost Island onwards that can come back and that would be so entertaining to watch. Like, I would much rather see a Chris Noble come back, a David Rickenbach come back. I would rather see someone like an Angela come back. Like, there's so many great players that would be fun, Tom, to watch on Australian Survivor. I reckon they would fit the theme really well. They would be allowed to play.
I reckon you could get a good enough like cast of 12 Americans. I reckon like Johnny Fairplay.
Yeah.
He
on.
really loves Australian and he definitely won't ever play an American again. So he'd be a massive draw for the American side. You find a bunch of just I like it. You get a few other strong people like maybe because obviously I think Johnny Fairplay in his old age will not help physically. I feel like the Americans are going to get dominated though. Like there's no way